Greetings everybody, it is I, Mr. Chaos, and welcome to my channel Chaotic Bricks. Today I am going to be showing you my latest creation, a Lego Graveyard Kinetic Sculpture. I hope you enjoyed that little intro there. But anyway, it's about time I get into the actual model. So I decided to go for a simple sort of look where you have the stone at the bottom and the deeper layers of the earth, and then at the top you got the dirt and then grass on top, which is where the graves are buried. As you can see through this little glass part down here, there is a skeleton who has been buried, not alive, or a person who originally used to be a normal minifig, passed away and is now a Lego skeleton. And as you can see, when the top layer is pulled off, which is the grass, you can see the Mr. Skeleton inside his grave with his arm fallen off here. I decided not to use one of the regular arms as it just looks more realistic for it to be like that. Or maybe he lost an arm and a dog buried the bone in there. So that's basically what the grave looks like underneath. Along the side of this model is pretty much the same as what you saw in the front, except the right hand side has the crank, which when turned anti-clockwise makes the ghosts move, and turning it clockwise doesn't seem to work, as the axles that the ghosts are on, some of them get caught underneath the top layer, which I'll explain later on. Towards the back there is just more of what's on the front, but you can see in the back there is a little stone wall here, or fence, and I decided to put it on an angle so that it has a little torn and old look, and you got some rubble here from what could be the other pole, which is missing from up here. Towards the left hand side is another grave, this one different to all the others as it's got a stone creature on top. This could be a grave for a dead animal, possibly, or maybe some alien minifigure that has that as their face, or maybe they just like weird creatures. Up on the top, as you can see, there are 3 graves, 1, 2, 3, and there are 3 ghosts, each ghost representing one person from a grave who is ascending to spook people on Halloween. And over here I decided to put some dirt here as it could be newly buried, but that can't be the case as it's already a skeleton inside. So what I was thinking is that the skeleton is trying to break out and come out alive on Halloween. And that is pretty much what is going on the top, as there isn't much else going on. So now let's just take a look in the inside of the mechanism. So the mechanism here is as follows. There's a crank over here which turns all of the different gears, which makes these axles move up and down, which make the ghosts look like they're floating. This was very simple to come up with, and the only problem I had with this was trying to make it fit in there, which turned out not to be too difficult. So on this gear, this large one here, you can see that there are these holes here, and I attached this part of the axle onto it, and I used the grey little connector peg and put in there, as this one is very loose compared to the black one. So when it's put inside the mechanism and when it's attached, if I can actually manage to get it in, which doesn't look like I can, it will always be facing up. Since I don't have any of the top pieces on top, these things start to move around a lot, and this main part specifically can shift a little bit and will not move. So when the flat tiles are placed on top with this thing being held in place, this thing will always move. The reason why you can't turn this mechanism clockwise is because this axle here tends to get stuck underneath the tiles here. So when this piece is placed on top, you'll notice that this connector for the axles, if I'm turning it anti-clockwise, it works perfectly normal. But if I turn it clockwise, it gets stuck underneath and it will tend to break the gears and it just will not work. I have tried putting different pieces underneath so that way it can slide better, but it tends to get stuck for some reason, which I find strange, but I'm sure someone will find a solution. So that's basically how the mechanism goes, just lots of different gears turning one small little thing. I hope you enjoyed my LEGO Graveyard kinetic sculpture. If you did, I would highly appreciate it if you left a like, a comment, or even subscribed, as that would really mean a lot to me. If you would like the instructions of this model, I will leave a link in the description which will take you to the download page of the instructions, and I will leave an annotation to the left of the screen when I publish my instructions so you can download it. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.